Testing 1, 2, 3. What's going on, fellow rogues? It's Mass Mayor here, and welcome in for next episode of Powerwash Simulator as we continue the Shrek DLC. Also, I'm currently, sorry, I was just, finishing up my little go live post on Blue Sky. So anyways, guys, yeah, so tonight, as I said, during the Castlevania stream a bit ago, this is definitely gonna be a short one. For the most part, the plan is I'm just gonna do Shrek Swamp, but I did find out something else that actually released a few days ago. That I had to install into the game, manually. I thought, because I didn't realize this actually was available yet, because I knew that the dev said there was going to be another Muckingham File, a DLC coming. And so I actually, looked over here at this or whatever, and it's only one job. So if the Shrek job is actually small enough or whatever, I might go in and try this one out, just kind of add some a little more on. Because it comes down to the Shrek job, the Shrek's Swamp one is really quick. I may go in and do this one, just kind of add a little more to the stream. Because as long as I don't go live too long to where we can't do the watch party tonight on my Discord server, everything should be fine. So I may just be jumping into this since this is in Muckingham Files 5, and it's only one thing they added this, which is a dessert parlor, and it sounds really interesting. So I may do that one, it may not. It depends on how things go, me doing Shrek Swamp here. So yeah, we're picking up right where we left off last time, because this is the first of the last 3 jobs we're gonna be doing, which is we already did Duloc. I think it was the name of I need to brush up on the Shrek movies. I was supposed to do that in between the last stream and this one, but I didn't get around to it. But we did Duloc, and then of course the Hansel and Gretel's, or was it just Hansel's little honeymoon cottage. So now we're doing Shrek Swamp, which we figured out. I was because I was originally saying, okay, so we're going actually cleaning up Shrek Swamp. That's kind of odd, because he's known for, I have a feeling if I went and clean the swamp up, wouldn't be too happy about that. And it turns out what we're actually doing is technically going, and of what I can tell, we're going and dirtying it back up, because something happened. Apparently, Donkey and them had a bachelor party, and I'll give y'all, yeah. Safe to say, things kind of took a turn. And what it looks like is, instead of us cleaning Shrek Swamp, we're dirtying it back up. We're making it a little more mundane again. So this is like probably one of the few, first times we're taking something that looks pretty and making it look, you know, gross again. So, or like making it look less colorful, because that's basically what I'm used to with my jobs. Like, you know, you got like a bunch of muck, everything looks just like very, you know, bland. You don't really like see like the luster of everything. But this one, everything looks like has like a lot of luster. It looks like a bunch of pixies or fairies went through and just threw up all over the place. And we're going, I guess, like we're gonna make like, you know, his swamp look, well, more ogreish again. So, anyways, picking up like, you know, where like, you know, we went with this last time. Wash a lot. See, and the things I'm hearing is like I'm thinking that like this being said in Eddie Murphy's voice. Don't just stand there looking all cool and metallic. Come on in. Don't you worry about that beware ogre sign. You're perfectly safe. Well, normally you'd be toast, but Shrek and Fiona are still away on honeymoon, which is just as well. Well, I think Shrek would be probably cool with me because I did just do a job for him and Fiona. You see, me and the gang got a bit carried away at the wedding after party once Shrek and Fiona had taken off. It'd be great if we could, you know, make all that mess go away. Let's put it this way. Shrek comes back and finds the swamp looking like it's looking right now. I'm going to need a lot more of that flying pixie dust. Which again was like one of my favorite jokes in the series. He can fly, he can talk. But anyways, yeah, we're going to go and start this. It don't seem like it's going to be a lot to it. Because, you know, but also it just depends on like how it's scaled. Alright, so yeah, I don't think this is going to really take too long. Alright, so yeah, this actually probably got to really be a long job. Well, there's the outhouse. Alright, so your helmet airtight, you might want to keep that on. The air around here gets pretty beefy. I kind of want to start with the outhouse just because it's smaller. Yeah, those gloves too. Yeah, that's the plan, Donkey. Do I want to open this? And the armor. You're all good is what I'm saying. Well, I mean, trust me, this stuff ain't coming off. I would hate to, like, you know how it smells around here. Did they just... What'd I just get? Was that what I thought it was? Hold on, let me check something here, Rogues. What was that achievement I just got? In a Shrek Swamp job, clean the outhouse door and outhouse door handle first. Somebody once told me. That was the name of the achievement. Somebody once told me. Of course they had to reference that. Literally named like my stream, you know, like did the All-Star joke in the last stream. Okay, yeah, that's gold. Let's hope it's like gold, not actually corn. Well, I mean, at least the outhouse is clean. Like the inside of it. Call that a win. Alright, but anyways, let's go ahead and just get this cleaned up. Thing is, I don't normally see spots where like there's water. I think I've had a few jobs where they had like some water on it, but... Alright. I will say this definitely is like, you know, probably like to me, like, you know, one of the more clever DLCs. I mean, I like the Lara Croft one or like the Tomb Raider one. Or a little bit I have seen of Final Fantasy. We're gonna get on top, like clean up the roof. It's kind of weird that me getting everything off of it actually does make it look prettier for some reason. I guess because that's what we're used to like seeing from Shrek. We're not used to seeing all the glitter and glamour in a swamp. This is like, I guess, like probably the only case where like, you know, making things a little more mundane actually looks normal. Problem is I gotta like, you know, get really... Inner wall right here. The fact that it actually is like some like just straight up normal gunk. So technically I'm cleaning that off too. Like, you know, I guess like we're getting like, you know, both the glittery gunk and like in some like, you know, the more poopish gunk. That's what we're gonna call it here. Freaking outhouse. All right, yeah. Let me go and get the ladder. I still like how like the ladders and everything to change that to make it made out of wood instead of like metal. All right, so get this, and that house should be taken care of after this. It definitely looks like his outhouse now. I can close it back. Right. Yeah. Okay. I just like how like the outhouse, it feels like that's actually somehow more iconic than his actual house for some reason. Like even like the little yeah, the little, I guess the bug you use like, you know, for his toothpaste. Hold on. It said open door. They gave me a prompt for something. That was strange. Like they gave me like a little prompt. Man, it's bubbling. It's weird because they gave me like a prompt where I'm trying to... It might be a glitch, like saying I could interact with the door over there. I don't know, I may just end up doing this one tonight. I don't know if this is going to take me an hour. But if it takes me at least like an hour or whatever, you know, then I'll like, you know, just leave it at this job tonight. I said, I probably like in the next stream, I'll do like a little marathon session, try to go ahead and like, you know, do the Fairy Godmother's potion place or factory and also the Dragon's Lair. It's all that on that side right there. Yeah, a lot of it is the ground that we got to cover. Like, literally got to cover ground here. Or uncover ground. It makes you wonder who actually painted the signs. I can't remember if, like, you know, Shrek... I can't remember if it was ever shown in the movies if Shrek, you know, painted the signs. Or someone else did. And basically, you know, he just, like, let him stay because he wanted, like, the solitude. Like, he wanted to be left alone. Yeah, I kind of like want to just go and get, like, get the floor taken care of. Or the ground, whatever. Let's go and get like the little path stones. Stepping stones, path stones, whatever. Right. Yeah, this isn't gonna really be a long job. Anyway, Shrek asked me to mine the swamp for him while they were away on their honeymoon. Yeah, how'd that work out? Well, he didn't ask exactly, but my best friends don't have to. Oh, so he took it upon himself. And look what happened. That makes it even worse, because it's not a job that Josh Shrek trusts him to do. It's basically him just showing up and just screwing everything up on his own. You see, when Shrek saluted as they drove away in that onion carriage, I saw that unmistakable sparkle in his eye. It said, "Donkey, this is your home now. Home too now. Watch over it. I trust you and believe in you." Or maybe he was just like, had a sparkle because he realized he was gonna be away from everyone for a bit with his woman. Not sure I quite delivered on that. I don't think you did. Like, I literally feel like, it was just like Shrek, just happy to be away from him for a while. I mean, obviously, because him and Donkey are friends and everything. Let's not forget, like, Donkey, like, usually annoyed the hell out of him regardless. Like the mouthy best friend who won't shut up. Okay, we're just trying to get, like, all the... And just the fact you can see Donkey's hooves right here. I was want to say, like, I see, like, little knobs where, like, little tiny, like, circles where, because I wonder if that would have been Gingy. But then again, no. Because Gingy came in Shrek 2, right? Or was Gingy in Shrek 1? I think Gingy... did Gingy come in Shrek 1 or 2? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was Shrek 1. It was his brother showed up in Shrek 2. The giant gingerbread man. It's been so long as I've watched them where I'm pretty sure Gingy, like, was in Shrek 1. They introduced him with the whole Muffin Man thing. Should get a whole bunch of dings from this, unless it's just going to count the entire plane, which I think it is. Oh, no, here we go. I don't even think of a piano for somewhat. Alright, so we're going to wait on... Okay, we're getting there, just... Because if I finish this up quick enough, I may go ahead and do, like, the Muckingham File thing. I don't want my stream to be too short. Such a rich array of mess, huh? It's bad that, like, me clean everything up actually makes the swamp look cleaner. Confetti. I was saying like everything was just gonna be like just all mucked up underneath it, but everything is actually clean. Parfait debris. Confetti, parfait debris. Snot. Upside down coconut souffle with mango chutney sauce crumbs. And the main, I guess, like one way I can kind of look at it is chances are what it could be I'm doing is that I'm cleaning up like, you know, Donkey's mess and like whatever mess Shrek had. That's where Tinkerbell started waving her wand about. Greatest night of my life. So just think about this. Like, I'm basically cleaning up Donkey's mess, but like if I'm cleaning up Shrek's mess, that could be getting me in trouble. Because maybe that's what it is. Like like everything actually looked, you know, less clean. It looked less clean before Donkey, you know, did what he did. But after I cleaned up Donkey's mess, it took Shrek's with it. But I don't know. I mean, like a lot of the pictures I like remember of is like Shrek, even though he's technically an ogre, he's an ogre. Not technically an ogre, he is an ogre. Even though his area is technically like, you know, looks messy, he's still like, you know, actually somehow it's like he's a clean slob somehow. It's really, you know, if that's the thing. I mean, it's they've always like I think depicted him as dirty, but I don't know. But then again, like I said, it's been ages since I've actually watched the movie, so and if this actually is like a proper depiction of like, you know, depiction of his you know, the swamp. It's hard to tell if like, you know, if everything looks cleaner than it did in the movie or the movies or not. But I've always like just kind of like, you know, thought like thinking back on it, like he lives in a swamp, but it's like, you know, still like it's kind of like what you do, like mainly in the sense of he kind of like has like that little, yeah, for sure, Jeremy. I don't know, it's really hard to explain. I don't know what I'm trying to get into here, and also the fact that I, you know, like I said, I kind of like, you know, when I did the Castlevania stream earlier, I just woken up, and maybe I'm still like trying, like, yeah, I'm still just kind of tired because I've been getting a lot of sleep lately, so it's kind of hard to really explain things. But I guess it's just like in the sense that Shrek, it's like, you know, you expect like, you know, like his area or whatever, him being in a swamp or whatever, it still like somehow like looks clean for like what they're trying to basically, you know, say. Like he's supposed to be like very filthy, but I remember like the movie like being like, you know, his area is still like for like a swamp. It wasn't like you go in there and it's just like, you know, I don't know what I'm trying to say, guys. It's like, you know, it seemed like they tried, like, my interpretation of Shrek from what I remember of the first movie. Let me actually just kind of look this up now, just to see if, like, I'm not, like, you know, just rambling. Yeah, I mean, it's basically what I was saying right here. Like, really, when you look at his swamp or whatever. Oh, never mind. That's actually, oh, that's not even the actual swamp. That's like a B&B someone like made of it. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's basically kind of like what I was saying right here, where even like, you know, even though he's living in a swamp, where he's still actually, you know, for all, you know, by ogre standards, where he actually kept everything, you know, tidy. You know, I was kind of like looking up some of the stuff forward, where, so I mean, it's basically kind of like what I was saying is that, you know, it's probably like wouldn't be like a place like someone like would normally want to live. Let me look inside his house, because this is, oh shit. Yeah, I mean, because like basically, but you know, he's basically someone that, when you look at like, you know, Shrek, like, you know, how he presents himself, like he's still like cleaner than like, you know, some. He basically still lives cleaner. I mean, yeah, like, you know, he takes mud baths and everything, by ogre standards, you know, he actually technically has like. Oh yeah, same. He basically just explained like exactly what I've been trying to say. Like Shrek, you know, was, even though he lived in filth, he was still tidy. He was a tidy, dirty person. Just like you can have, like, you know, a person who's clean, but they can have, like, you know, just clutter all over the place. I guess, yeah, so she basically, thank you for that, Sammy, because I was having, like, a lot of trouble trying to explain things. And you just said, like, more succinctly, you know, in a better way than I could. But I think it's just got sleep deprived again. It's been like how a lot of my streams have been lately. Yeah, but Shrek is basically like a tidy, dirty person. While, like, you know, but you have people out there that can be, like, you know, cluttery, you know, clean people. They can have, like, the cleanest house in the world, but then still have, like, you know, just have stuff, like, laying all over the place. Okay. Yeah, there's got, like, a little bit on the floor over here. But I am want to do that dessert restaurant now. After this. But like I said, depends. You can't even, like, see your reflection. Is that everything? Alright, I guess that's, yeah. It's got, like, a little bit more here. Yeah, I mean, I will say it's kind of like how my bedroom is. Like, I keep, you know, I definitely try to, like, keep things, like, you know, keep things clean. But you guys kind of, like, you know, see, like, you know, my streaming room here and everything, but, my bedroom, definitely keep things clean, but I do have, like, you know, some little stuff in here, like, you know, boxes and stuff, like, cluttered around. So that's it, like, I have, like, I'm someone who has, like, you know, clothes laying all over the floor or anything like that. You know, I have, like, a hamper, I definitely keep my clothes in. But, where's the rest of, like, what I got clean up on the floor over here? Speaking of cleaning up floors. But, yeah, I think I'm a relatively, you know, clean and tidy person. But like, you know, clean, but, you know, I definitely keep my streaming room, like, tidy, you know, and organized. But, you know, there are definitely, like, times, like, my bedroom or whatever, I had to, like, pick up stuff off the floor and everything, but otherwise, you know, it's relatively clean. Okay, I think it's just, like, you know, some little remnants here and there around, like, the... Well, there it went. Alright, so really, we just gotta clean, like, the house itself now. Which really don't... Okay, this ain't gonna take long at all, it looks like. So when you really think about it, like, you know, it's kind of hard for his house to be dirty when his house is literally, like, made out of mud and dirt, it looks like. And of course his house is dirty. That's what it's made of. It definitely, we'll say, like, for some reason, parts of his house do give me, like, Flintstones vibes. Yeah, this wall is definitely, like, taking its time. I think that's probably the reason why is all this over here. Because, see, they're, like, counting, like, the wall is, like, you know, one massive segment all the way around. So if I get this done within an hour, I'll probably go ahead and do, like, the dessert things. I don't think the dessert spot, like, it was gonna be too big. But it's kind of concerning the fact that they only did one for, like, you know, this Muckingham Files DLC. Because normally there's two, but it might have been this, like, could be because they're starting to wind up, you know, wrap up, like, the Muckingham Files stuff. And I just kind of look at it like it's going to be an exact opposite of this. Because, you know, this place has to, like, smell terrible. All things, you know. I mean, even though, like, of course, you know, it's not like you basically say anything on Shrek. But a lot of, you know, what they pretty much try to imply is that, you know, he's flatulent and smelly and everything, you know, being an ogre. But, just it being a swamp itself. You know, just things like swamp gas, so on and so forth. And I just kind of think it's funny that we got, like, area right here probably smells foul, but the dessert, you know, the dessert bar, the dessert restaurant, even, like, you know, with that what kind of mess it is or whatever, or the fact it's going to be messy, you can bet it probably smells really good. Unless, you know, it's been ice cream and other dairy stuff that's been sitting out for a while, or it's been on the walls and everything for a bit. Yeah, that might not smell the best. Wait, I thought we already got the swamp floor front. So what did I get before? Unless that was the back. I just noticed we ain't got the swamp floor front yet. I think I... Mm-hmm. There it is. That's why I couldn't get it. It was like it was in there. Okay, I'm going to finish getting the outside of his house first before we go in. Me totally about to pick up the chair. For some reason, thinking I could, like, jump on that. Alright, let's finish up, like, the roots down here first. I think we're gonna get some more lore from Donkey in a second. Because we had like 60%. We'll say this kind of throwing me off the fact that we're making things look less colorful. Because normally I'm so used, like, you know, things like, you know, getting brighter for me cleaning them. Okay, up here should be where we can clean up, finish the roots. And there's still a few more around here. But I want to go and get this out of the way first, because... I guess, like, you know, going by what Donkey said, like, the majority of this got caused by Tinkerbell. I'm getting the sense you take your job seriously. Kind of I'm here to watch, not to talk vibe. I respect that. I think, like, others, like, touched on how, like, you know, your character never really talks. I think I respect that where, but he's, like, probably the mouthiest person in the Shrek series. Like, I'm wondering if, like... Because, I mean, obviously I don't want to, like, go the route, like, you know, when Donkey said the best night of his life, considering the factor that by this point, like, you know, him and Dragon would have been an item. But when he says best night of his life, and we're just seeing, like, glitter all over the place, it makes you wonder, like, exactly what happened. Especially considering, I think he was, like, basically trying to say something along the lines of, like, this was well, no, technically a bachelor party would be like something that the Bachelor's aware of, but Donkey pretty much said all this happened after Shrek left. So it's almost like, okay, talking about like a bachelor party where, but the thing is, technically, because I don't know if him and Dragon are actually married, but I can't remember if they got married, but it makes you think of like if he was throwing like a bachelor party for himself. Yeah. Which also makes you like, because things we're not going to argue semantics here. Considering a factor is like, okay, well, because one thing has always been like a joke, I think, with the series is, all right, you know, considering how big Dragon is and how tiny Donkey is, how would something like that work with, I mean, I know we're kind of getting a little raunchy territory here, but how would something like that work with him and Tinkerbell? But then you also think about, like, we want to kind of like, you know, go by proportions here. This could have been Gingy and Tinkerbell. Okay, like, and now we just got like a whole nother rabbit hole we just opened up there, but... Of course, the other scenario I think like that's kind of like less spicy. When he said like, you know, Tinkerbell started waving that wand around, but that, you know, that Tinkerbell got drunk or something. Like, it comes across as either like, you know, someone pissed Tinkerbell off and she started like, you know, going crazy with the wand, or she just got drunk. All right. But yeah, I'm probably gonna go ahead and do like the dessert bar after this. Just go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm still making good time. So once I get like inside and start cleaning up Shrek's house, because like it's just all these twisted knots and everything here. But it's just like really like it's just been kind of a little tricky cleaning the roots, I guess. Just because like, you know, they got like little twists and turns to them, but. I'm stuck. All right, hold on. There we go. But the only thing that really, you know, kind of like frustrates me when I do like the Powerwash simulator streams, like I said before, it's hard to really kind of come up with dialogue for these. Kind of, you know, come up with commentary, because it's like, it's more of a relaxing thing. As I said before, this is pretty much just where people can just come in and just talk about whatever, which is kind of like how my streams are anyway. But really, I mean, it's just kind of like tricky for me to come up like with dialogue for and commentary just for like cleaning houses and stuff. I guess it's just kind of like, you know, show, like more along the lines of the relaxing nature of the game. I have a feeling when I start doing like, you know, crime scene cleaner, I'm probably gonna definitely have like, you know, some commentary about that. You know, I just like hate the, you know, thinking that there may be those that come in and, I mean, like I said, I know like my streams aren't for everyone. You know, I know that's gonna be the, you know, that's the case, and honestly, I really wouldn't want my stream to be for everyone, because I, you know, if I do find any successes, I want to earn it, and you know, and if your, you know, content is basically, you know, everyone enjoys it, that takes like a lot of challenge and like the thrill out of like, you know, working at making something, trying to, you know, make something what you're doing. You know, if it was easy, everyone would be partnered, everyone would have success and everything. Like I said, I made it very apparent I want to like, you know, earn what I get, but I just don't like, you know, the thought of like people coming in and thinking I'm boring just based off this. I was like, I guess it's just kind of a balance thing. I come in and do this as like, you know, my little chill streams, but otherwise, like, you know, my other streams, I kind of like have like a little bit more. There's a lot more wisecracks. You know, I'm at my best, like, you know, when, you know, I'm streaming, like, you know, would do a multiplayer. Because that's other people I can kind of like, you know, that I can, you know, basically, you know, we're able to kind of like, you know, go rapid fire, like, back and forth with our, you know, commentary, and I can have like something I can kind of like, you know, jump off of. All right. Seems like that's mostly like outside here. Yeah. I just say there are times I wish I kind of like was more high energy when I'm doing these streams, but again, it's just these like the more laid back ones. Kind of like how it was a coffee talk. Even though with coffee talk, I had like a lot I could work with dialogue there because most of it was dialogue. Okay, so this basically kind of backs up what I was saying. There was something going. Oh my God, Donkey, what were you? I was wondering what that was, but that's just I think where I actually I didn't know. I was like, wait a minute, what the hell is this right here? But I remembered I kind of like did that like came in from outside. I thought I was like, wait one damn minute, what am I seeing here? Like, what happened? I thought like someone got bent over or whatever, but so you just kind of avoid that. That's where I like I shot like the power like the washer in through here or whatever. But I'm just wondering who the fuck's feet are these? But that definitely ain't dragons. So yeah, Donkey was. Okay, the fact his footprints are everywhere. I'm just wondering whose feet those are. Because those are human feet. As a matter of fact, there's 3 sets of feet. That's a big foot. Those are small. I'm just curious who the hell's feet this is. Okay, whatever. Let's go. See, in this space, what I was talking about also, Shrek has got a... For an ogre, where he's got like a comfy looking bed. And a clean looking bed, might I add. Oh, yeah. That totally like they were playing Twister. Oh, God, I just thought about it. There's a reason why the feet was smaller than the other. It was Donkey, Snow White, and one of the 7 dwarfs. So what would that have been like? Well, I was about to say a 2.5 some. Oh my God, let me shut up. We're not going to go into that territory here. Oh yeah, totally. I mean, if anything, that thing should be shredded. I mean, just like last round where we were talking about like, I played this previously. We were like, I'm cleaning a gingerbread house. No, that whole gingerbread house should have collapsed. Like the moment water came in contact with it. But of course, this is like a fairy tale. This is far, far away. So, compared to me calling it fairyland previously. But yeah, I mean, my thing, I've always thought that like Shrek had comfy digs. This does have me wanting, like, go back there and rewatch the movie, so. All right. Everybody else. I'm so curious whose feet those were, though. I mean, I know, like, Donkey's not going to explain it, but... I do kind of wish I was able to go into the gingerbread house. Or the honeymoon getaway. Like I was able to do here. But I do like that they did do the attention to detail where you're not just cleaning the outside Shrek's house, you can go in. Because there's, like, a lot of, like, other building things, like, the giant shoe from, like, the main DLC, the main game. You couldn't go in there. You couldn't go into, like, a lot of these. Wait a minute. It's not gonna be too clean, is it? See, this is what I was talking about. I bet you I cleaned up a lot of Shrek's mess. I mean, will Shrek get specific if it's too clean? Well, I mean, I'd rather... What do you want me to do? Go out there and, like, and just, like, you can go pick a bunch of mud up and, like, and just freaking throw it over throw it on his door or something. That's your problem, donkey. We gotta roll back some. Is it too late to roll back some? This ain't a goddamn computer. This ain't a goddamn, this ain't Windows 10 where we can roll back the updates, dude. Take what you get. My stream cleaning ain't selective. Everything is gotta go. I mean, the thing about it is, like, they can friggin', like, somehow, like, just made this thing look like, a giant freaking, popsicle factory exploded or something like that. Or like a Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or something exploded. But, he can't, like, go out there and get a few buckets of mud or whatever. I mean, I can't remember if that's actually, like, I don't know. I mean, I know, like, because I don't know if that's actually supposed to be a mud bath or what. Because, I mean, I can't remember. I mean, it looks like it's just swamp water, but shouldn't be too hard for him to just get some mud. I mean, we're in a swamp. Just all this looks like water instead of actual, like, mud. But literally all he has to do is just, like, I'm pretty sure, he can just, like, get a bucket, like, and just skim the bottom of it. But I also kind of look at, like, Shrek, might, like, look at it like, this mud's fresh. This isn't my mess. Like, he would somehow know, like, the exact placement for, like, where he, like, he basically would, like, see, like, one smear of dirt, and it's just off by 1 foot. Like, he'll know that's not, like, the one he put there. I'll never forget, like, Shrek's kind of a connoisseur for uncleanliness, so. But I do like how they kind of touched on that, because I feel like I actually am making his, like, his house, like, cleaner than it normally would look. So they actually, did kind of touch base on it, that I'm not just cleaning up, like, Donkey's mess, I'm cleaning up Shrek's mess. If anything, this is actually going to put the blame on me. I'm taking this job. It's going to put the blame on me more than anything. I figured, like, Shrek should give me a pass, considering I did, like, bail him and Fiona out of the previous situation, though. As Fiona was saying, like, Shrek thought, like, everything was fine the way it is. He didn't care they made a mess. Like, now, Shrek, we can't do that. Like, he didn't care that they completely, like, just, messed up, like, because obviously if it would have, if, like, the honeymoon retreat would have got left that way, that was definitely gonna, like, probably, like, gonna, one thing, they were probably gonna lose their deposit, and also, like, that was gonna definitely, like, make his ratings go, like, down through the floor, like if someone else tried to rent it out and just saw, like, it looking like that. Second. I mean, well, how do you think, like, Shrek and Fiona got their kids? Which I don't think I've actually seen. I think that was Shrek 3. I think I've seen Shrek 1 and 2, but I don't think I've seen 3. And the funny thing I just kind of thought of as well, Donkey was talking about, like, the coconut thing earlier. I can't remember, like, what food it was. And it makes me think of, like, when they did the whole thing with Fiona in the first place, how she liked pina coladas. I mean, the storyline was always weird. Let's not forget, like, one of my favorite, like, jokes from that was, like, in the second one where they did, like, a whole entire parody of Knights, of cops called Knights. And of course, like, the biggest swerve, like, when you find out that the whole time Fiona actually was an ogre. Yeah, and that kind of makes me want to watch it now. I watched the rest of them. Just to see, like, I was okay, like, if it's weird by Shrek standards. See? Oh. Right, well, okay, that doesn't sound good. I probably maybe just watch the third one and just look up, like, stuff on the others. Yeah, still they were making good time, so I'm probably gonna go ahead and do like that Muckingham Files thing, just go and get caught up on it. I just get like something a little sweet and a little sour here. It actually sounds like a good stream title. I mean, it makes sense because, you know, considering the fact that, you know, probably like very sour air here, and we're gonna go somewhere where it's gonna probably smell like really sweet. Oh. I mean, like I said, mainly I just want to kind of try to get caught up, you know, for the sake of the DLC, but I didn't get around to doing it. Let me if I say I ain't about to get stuck here. So I kind of feel like I really did, like, you know, get like the vast majority of everything outside. It probably is like a little something I missed here and there, but I feel like, you know, by the time I'm done in here, I should have the checklist. Because now it's a bunch of little smaller things I'm having to clean up. Sort of thing like it's made out of snakes or alligators or something. It's almost like it's, I mean, I swear it's like it's about to bite me. Or like, you know, like I'm just snap at me. Alright, armchair's cleaned. Yeah, but after I do this, after I finish up all this DLC, or finish up the Shrek DLC, the next one's gonna probably be Alice in Wonderland. And what I've read is a lot of people have said that that's their favorite of this. Supposedly it also might be the longest. So I'm still on the fence if I'm gonna go back, if I am gonna go through and do the SpongeBob one. Like I said, I'm considering it still. Originally it was a certainty, but now I've kind of been on the fence about it. The only one like I said, I'm probably not gonna be doing is gonna be the what you call it, the Warhammer one. Okay, feels like we're almost done. Mostly. So something keeps on making a noise whenever I jump up on this. Oh, it's my armor. I keep forgetting I'm wearing armor. We're getting this, just a little bit more. So we should be getting our checklist hopefully sometime soon. Fireplace wall. I don't care. Like, Shrek has nice digs. Of course, I might have actually also made them look, more presentable. Yeah, there's not much more of this. We're almost done. It's gotta be outside. There it is. I mean, here's the thing. Technically, this should be like where I should be fine because Donkey did want a little bit of dirt left. This would be a job where that would be a good thing if I didn't fully clean everything up. Ooh, yeah. Now, what else is there? Yeah, the roof right here. All right. And the table. I mean, let's be real here. Considering what we saw on the bed sheets a bit ago, whatever, I can see, like, what this fish like it's been traumatized. That fish has seen some shit. It's a little bit of something over here. All right, so I feel like the rest of it's probably gonna be, for the most part, gonna be outside. Okay, the fact that fish is like staring at me out of the corner of my eye right now. I gotta get away from that thing. All right, so what are we missing outside now? Okay, I'll go ahead and like just do this. I'm gonna bedroom curtain. I thought I got that. Oh, right. All right. Well, a number of things I got this time without having, like, look at the guide, like, look at my checklist. All right, house stepping stones. Oh, right here? Oh, whoa, right here. It's kind of a weird place for, like, to put stepping stones, unless he just basically wants to come up here and just to relax or something. House window frames. Well, ain't like it'll be like the window frame and the still will be like the same one. That's actually how I called it. Alright, and this job is done. Today. Give me my payment. Thank you. It's picture like the last thing you see right there is like Shrek just chasing me out of the house. Like the last little still is like, him coming after me. And watch, like, Donnie's come clean about his little fix up of the swamp. I see all my wonderful grog got washed away with the... Oh, Shrek's talking. Watch, like, Donkey's come clean about his little fix up of the swamp. I see all my wonderful grog got washed away with the glitter. Mind you, now Fiona's gonna be living here too. It's only right. We can start a whole new mess together. See, Amber, that's exactly what Amber's saying. Amber just said that earlier. Okay, well, hey, it gives them a clean slate. Literally. See, I don't even want to read what she has to say. No, I can't stand your ass. Hold on, how much is she paying me? I got paid 200 by donkey. Because, I mean, if it's like how, with Farquaad, 650. Well, I mean, technically speaking, Farquaad did pay me more than the others did. So basically, yeah, Farquaad and also his fairy godmother both paid me. I wonder who's gonna like hire me for the dragon's lair. It kind of makes sense if Donkey did it, but the dragon herself actually did. I was like, wait, since when has she ever actually talked? All right, now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this one just because it's one job. Clean the dessert parlor, and I just want to see what this looks like. Power washer. I love my staff. Really, I do. They're great with the customers. They have lots of amazing ideas for new flavors. They're always upbeat, and they keep their cool in just about any situation. But they did not react well to the presence of a raccoon in my ice cream parlor. No, they did not. I've got to do this now. Hold on. A raccoon caused this? Please tell me there's paw prints for it. Also, it's not really going to be that bad to clean this, I don't think. It's not that big. Okay, yeah, this isn't going to be too bad. I just think it's hilarious this got caused by a raccoon. I'm trying to see if there's any, like, paw... Yep, there's paw prints. I love this. Okay, I got to clean that up, though, for sure. That looks very questionable. Okay, at least I got my, my Prime Vista Pro back. All right, well, let's get to work. I feel I should explain what happened here. Oh, I gotta hear this. I've got to hear this. For a start, it was a super hot day, and my team was rushed off their feet. She's gonna be one of those types. She's doing the clickbait style of storytelling. It was a very hot day, and my team was rushed off their feet. What happens next, will astonish you. A lot of customers came by wanting ice cream. We were trying to keep it with supply and demand, for all the flavors they wanted. But nothing could prepare us what happened next. See, I hate when this happens. Like, whenever I see a story like that online, I immediately click out of it. And I just go through the comments and see if someone can, if someone could be like a patron saint, for my patience and, and tell me, exactly what the ending of it was. Either way, I mean, it's already looking like it's going to be a pretty cool little area, pun intended. It's not really taking me too long to, clean it either. Yeah. All right. So thankfully, like I said, it shouldn't take me too long to finish. We're already at 14%. This is one of those things where I just kind of spray it whatever. Because it seems like no matter what, I'm hitting something. I'm just spraying everything I can, just going to get 20% because I want to see where this is going, which should be just right about now. Our new junior scooper Rihanna Hooper had spotted a raccoon out the back, rifling through the bins. Do not tell me she tried to pet it. To Rihanna's credit, she immediately rushed out to shoo it away. That's where you made a mistake. You don't get between a trash pan and its goodies and its snacks. Unfortunately, she didn't think to close the door to the parlor behind her first. It's okay, fine. You know, you don't want me getting these snacks? Well, I'm gonna go and get your snacks. Like I said, so they got pancakes, they got donuts, they got waffles. They got... Wait a minute. The gnome has been sightseeing. The gnome has been going around taking selfies. If those who don't know, like the gnomes, you can usually just about most of the levels in the game, you can like, you know, you can find a gnome. I don't know if they ever actually really explain what the purpose of it is. It just shows up. I would totally have, like, you know, hang something like this up in my room. I've already got, like, you know, my little things in the background. I don't know if y'all can really see them. I got, like, these two little... I want to eventually get, like, some LED stuff for them. So, like, they light up a lot better. But I've got, like, one... I got these little neon plexiglass... not really neon, but there's, like, this little plexiglass signs. One for, like, ramen, one for sushi. And they're designed to where you can use LED lights with them. And, like, it pretty much makes them like they actually light up like neon. And the place I got them from does sell, like an actual, like, board. You know, like a little, wooden, like, you know, thing, you can, like a wooden frame that has, like, LED, like, you know, built into it. But it's like, it's $150 a pop, and I can't really afford that. But I know if I was able to do that, I definitely would, like, you know, make them, like, a lot more visible. Because, I mean, I hate that they're hanging up back there. You can't really see them. Knowing Joey probably could. Alright. Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's like, it is like strip LEDs, but it's like, it's a frame. And honestly, I mean, I hate to say it, but the frame and like what it basically is doesn't seem like it really would be worth 150. Because what it is just like, it's a wooden square, and you can slip like the poster into it. And it definitely kind of feels like something you could probably, like, you know, make like for a lot cheaper. Because really, like, you know, it's kind of like designed to where you could just like take like an LED thing and like and just line it around the back of it. But like the board, like, you know, makes it where like it's I guess that kind of makes it like look less, you know, foobar. Not really foobar. It makes it look less like jerry rigged or whatever. Yeah, I might bring one of them with me when I come up for vacation. So at least, you know, so that way, you know, at least he'll be able to see the dimensions. Like I said, I've had these things for a while, and it's just, I just hate that, like, you know, sometimes you can see them on stream, but I really like when I had the whole thing where they, you know, do, like, you know, pop in the background, where they look like they're... Because the way it's designed is like the ink or whatever, however it is they're printed, it's so that, you know, basically when like an LED lights up, or like when you have like an LED light behind it, it makes it seem like the entire sign's lit up. Like it actually makes it look it's made out of neon. Like it has a very, like, you know, they have like a very cyberpunk aesthetic to them. Because I kind of saw them, it made me think like something you probably like will possibly maybe see in Blade Runner or some kind of like cyberpunk, you know, movie. Like maybe like Blade Runner or maybe Akira or something. Okay, we're almost at... I'm going to wait on the ceiling. Try to clean everything around first. Same here. Like the place where I usually go get my pizzas, they have like, you know, a little like spot right there for ice cream. And we do have like an actual... This makes me think of like this place we got here in my town where they have like boba tea, ice cream, frozen yogurt. But I don't really go there too much because they're a bit pricey. And I think like just to get like a boba tea, there's like I think like about $10. You know, and it's not to say, and that's the thing about it, like, you know, what I've had from there, you know, their stuff is good. I mean, but for that much, I can actually, you know, go and get me a I can go and get me a meal. Rihanna was dealing with the raccoon. Harry Solemn had come in with his daily deluxe. For his daily deluxe. He's a sweet, super bright, but super shy kid. It's clear that he doesn't get much chance to chat to people, but he's always tries to get a convo going. Oh, I hate to see how this went. That morning, he was remarking on the incredible size consistency of the mint choc chips. And like I said, like, you know, what they got here isn't bad. You know, it's good, but like I said, you know, for how much, you know, you pay, you know, I could, you know, go and eat and get like actual food. But it's also been a bit since I've been to it. So, I mean, because the thing is, they opened up a few years ago, so it could be one of those things where, like, the price may have been a little bit more expensive just for them to kind of get themselves off the ground a little bit. Who knows? But all right, sugar waffle cake, cone sugar waffle cake coated twin, vanilla strawberry, chocolate mango, blueberry pistachio, mint caramel, banana, honeycomb, raspberry lemon. Pancakes, plain fruit frenzy, chocolate vanilla syrup, cinnamon, banana, peanut butter, and jelly. Plain fruit. All right, waffles. Plain fruit, fruit frenzy, chocolate vanilla, spice fruit, toffee. Those toffee waffles sound good. The donut. Simpsons reference. Now I can definitely go for some red velvet cake. Red velvet cake. That's like one of my favorite cakes. Yeah, because with them, with this place, however, it's like the only one like that here in town. So like on one hand, I can understand that they kind of like, you know, made things a little like had like somewhat higher prices like in regards to that or whatever. You know, when they first started out. It also depends on like, you know, I guess like the income, like, you know, the owners or whatever. I'm kind of hoping that since like they've been around for a few years now, that maybe they've kind of like, you know, had like more fair prices. Now they've grown in popularity. I kind of look at it like if the price goes, if they kind of like drop the prices a little bit, like, you know, that means like, you know, more custom, like, you know, basically their prices are more fair. It means like technically they probably like still be breaking about even. I didn't realize you could do that. Like compared, like, you know, like whatever it was they were charging before, which probably mean less customers over time. But they could like still probably like made that back and they have more customers, but they charge like a, you know, more fair price. But again, it's been ages since I've actually, you know, hadn't got anything from there. I'm not a business owner, so I mean, I might just be talking out of my astronaut, but. But yeah, like what they did have there was really good. I think like what was it I got? I mean, I know there was like one boba tea thing I got, a boba and a drink I got from got one, but I can't remember which was. I think it was some kind of lemonade. But they had like the popping pearls to it, and I'm not really a fan of the poppings. I like the chewy ones. Thing is, you basically talking about cake jars and just chicken, like in general or whatever, like a place that has both. Right? I mean, that kind of has me sold. Yeah, we'll see what me, you, and Joe get into. Like, when I come up. It's just gonna be a matter of me just like, I don't know. So I'm really excited for it. I mean, I'm kind of like, happy, excited for, the me getting out of the state again for a little bit. Okay, I'll come back to the walls just a minute, because I mean, like I said, we're not too far away from finishing this. This one's actually going quicker than the Shrek DLC. Or the Shrek, the Shrek, Shrek Swamp. It's definitely going, quicker than Duloc. And like I said, I know, I feel like some of my content's been definitely hit and miss. Like, I mean, it's always been hit and miss, but hit or miss. I definitely kind of feel like, me getting, away and just taking a break. Hopefully that means, like, when I come back, I'll be, be able to deliver, like, because that's the thing. It's not that I've been burned out from streaming. I just feel like, a lot of stuff that's going on lately. I'm not going to be going into here, Rogues. I've definitely, because it's not the place for it. I'm just trying to focus on my content here. But, unless I kind of need a break, I'm hoping that when I come back, I'll be, better mindset to, deliver better content. Right now, let's just go ahead and because I can't wait to see, like, what this is going to like when it's fully cleaned. Yeah, like I said, I'm just trying not to go into it too much here because my focus on, when it comes to my streams is my content. But again, like, obviously, like, again, like, with me, like, doing this is, like, more laid back and just talking about stuff and everything. I know I ain't stuck in that sink. I was kind of hoping I can get started on my Let's Go Pikachu series before I left or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like I should, like, just try to, like, see about focus on, like, some more smaller experiences, like smaller, shorter games, and then come back and, like, and do, like, a longer series. Because there's, like, so many I got lined up, like Chrono Trigger. I never played through Chrono Trigger. I want to eventually start doing that for my retro nights. And I was thinking about possibly doing that after I finish up Aria of Sorrow. But I don't know. I mean, I've been, like, really kind of just trying to think about, like, what I'm going to do after Aria of Sorrow. If I want to go and try to get the Dominus Collection, go ahead and try to do Dawn of Sorrow. But Chrono Trigger is, like, a game I've been, like, really wanting to do for a while. It's one of those Super Nintendo RPGs I never played, or just, like, RPG in general that, like, everyone, like, loves that I'd never played. As soon as the raccoons darted into the parlors, it was mayhem. I mean, but Chrono Trigger is definitely on the list, and for my retro games, for my retro days. But also, I still need to do Bloodborne. I still need to do Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and whatnot. Everyone, including the staff, immediately lost as the wild animal scurried around, desperate to find its way out. I thought that was just like a poster on the wall, but it's actually like, okay. That's when Harry came into his own. Oh, that's gonna be, okay, so Harry, yeah, the Shy Kid or whatever. Okay, I definitely gotta get to the next part now. I gotta see what happened here. But yeah, between Bloodborne, I need to get started, like, finally get started on playing that, because I've been putting that off for far too long. Literally the reason I got a PS4, and since now I've upgraded to a PS5. That was like a few years ago. I got a PS4 just for Bloodborne. Yeah, Bloodborne, Chrono Trigger, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. There's like, and also the fact that Doom, like the Dark Ages, is coming out like on the 13th. And I definitely want to get on that one. So this is like what I was talking about, like with Shrek Swamp, how we were making things look more mundane, but here, like, you know, you see that contrast and everything looking dirty. But the whole thing with Shrek Swamp is that technically, you know, that's like probably the only map I've done where like it wasn't ever really dirty. I mean, it had all that like the pixie dust and everything everywhere, but otherwise it wasn't really technically, you know, filthy. It was like, it was kind of like a twist on like what they were like trying to call filthy, but we never actually had like a whole contrast thing where, cause yeah, everything looked more mundane, but still looked cleaner afterwards in a weird way. But this right here is like back on point to like how this normally goes is that, you know, you're making things like that contrast of things looking dirty, and then like, you know, getting brighter and more vibrant, like with all the colors and all that. But yeah, Shrek's Swamp was different because it was colorful all around, even after, you know, we made it look more mundane again. So it's like, it's really, you know, cool like how the devs did that. Oh, there we go. Of course, now we're like getting all these little nooks and crannies here. Still, it ain't gonna take me too long to wrap this one up. I'm just wanting to like know what Harry did, like, you know, to stop the raccoon. And that's gonna be that last little bit of lore. All right, display case. Probably be on the other side. And that's always been one of my favorites too. I've always, like, it looks like that's Cookie Monster. It's some kind of peppermint, probably mint chocolate chip. Maybe some kind of caramel. All right. What else? Oh, hold on, I missed that one. Make sure there's none on the other side. Are the windows needing cleaning too? It looks like, yep. Okay, all that looks like that's good to go. And this little spot right here really shouldn't be that bad either. We're getting there. Probably should go ahead and like work on the ceiling. And get that out of the way. I duck down a little bit. Darn table, get out of the way. How dare you? Yeah, but I definitely should be able to go ahead and finish up the Shrek DLC next week. So I'm still like trying to decide if I want, like, some of the other ones if I want to do them or not. Because I still need to, because the only ones I really have like out of the paid DLC was the Shrek DLC and also Alice in Wonderland. So I'm considering doing Back to the Future. That's another, like, film series I ain't seen in forever. And I want to do that. And I've been considering, the Wallace and Gromit one, even though I'm not really too versed on, like, the Wallace and Gromit series. I think I've, like, seen, like, one movie, or I can't remember even if they had, like, shows or whatever. That shows, like, how out of touch I am with it. But I do recall, I think, like, watching, like, a movie. But that's another one of those things where, anything Wallace and Gromit was back when I was, like, like, a while back. I think the main things I remember from Wallace and Gromit, I believe, is that there's, like, a lot of stuff involving sheep, and I think, like, Wallace really loves cheese. I think it's cheese that he likes. He has, like, a whole fridge, I think, full of cheese. Don't quote me on it. I swear, I think it used to be that, like, Wallace, like, what I remember is that Wallace, like, really loves cheese. Now I gotta look it up. Otherwise, it's gonna be bugging me. Yeah. Wensleydale cheese and crackers. Yeah, I figured that's what it was. At least I was right on the mark with that one. Yeah, I remember, like, he really liked cheese. But I kind of, like, just want to get into it just for the heck of it or whatever, and if there's any references I'm, like, missing or wherever, like, people can clue me in. I can't remember exactly, like, how much there is to Wallace and Gromit in regards to, like, all the stuff there is to watch of that. But it's a series I've respected. Just never really, watched too much. What bit I have watched of it, like, was so far back I can't really remember much of it. I want to say I think that Wallace, I believe, is like an inventor or something. I'm saying this is me right here, like, saying, just saying straight out rogues. Don't get the pitchforks out. I'm outright admitting, like, I'm kind of clueless on the series. That's why I'm saying, like, if I'm missing something, just... But the only, like, really, out of the DLC, like, one of the main ones I'm pretty sure I probably ain't gonna be, like, doing is gonna be the Warhammer stuff, because that's, like... I know that's, like, Elginox, that's something, like, Elginox, like, knows, like, his fair share about. But Warhammer is, like, one of those things that I definitely, like, massively in the dark about. I never, like, played any of the games, never really, like, I haven't played the tabletop game, never played any of the video games. So yeah, I'm definitely not versed on Warhammer. The only reason I haven't continued the Final Fantasy stuff is, like I said, I want to try to do the remake before I, continue the Final Fantasy DLC. But I might go ahead and go do that anyway, I don't know. Harry knew that peppermint oil was a raccoon deterrent. So as everyone else flailed, he clambered over the counter, grabbed the tub of mint chocolate chip, and began peppering the parlor with it. He then grabbed a delicious pathway of strawberry sorbet to guide the animal out. Then created a delicious path. I mean, it worked, but at what cost? Well, I mean, going by my bill or where it's going to cost you at least, like, $400 on that part, but I digress. The only thing about it, and I will say this, is that if that's true, if peppermint actually is, like, what they use for, like, the mints for, mint chocolate chip, I never knew what kind of mint it was. Whereas I guess I never really thought about it. Apparently today I've learned that peppermint is, like, is the kind of mint they use for mint chocolate chip. But I guess it also just might be because of the fact that I've never really, had, like, mint chocolate chip ice cream or much anything, to really kind of, like, really, gauge the taste on it. Like, I'm not exactly like the biggest mint person. I'll eat like a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's. Like, I'll drink that, all day. Well, actually, I won't because, fitness goals and everything, but metaphorically speaking. I've just never really been like too much of a mint person. Outside of gum, like spearmint gum or something like that. I do like, the smell of like mint when it comes to like, for it's like a relaxation or... like the smell of it's always been like pretty relaxing to me and everything. And of course, like I think times like, where I've had like, it's, I guess like, when my nose is stopped up. That's one of the things I learned from like, Scooby-Doo. From like Scooby-Doo, for Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Basically the whole thing with like, with Thorn. Basically saying that like, peppermint and cloves, soothes vocal cords and all that. That's kind of like where I learned that like peppermint, like, and men's wear are actually going to be good, like, for soothing like sore throats and everything. And people say cartoons don't teach you anything. Which I still say to this day, I feel like the Hex Girls definitely should have got their own series. Considering like how popular they were. Like, I got mad because I don't even know how much it is worth now. Like how much it costs, but they did have, I think, like a 3-pack for the, for pop figures of the Hex Girls, but I didn't jump on it, like, immediately, so I think it's on skyrocketing in price. How much is it now? Out of curiosity here. Well, it's not really that bad. It's like $45. I kind of would like, would like to, maybe get that, but... Cause that's one of those things, like, that's what, like, I guess it's kind of become, like, one of my Grail, figures. Yeah, Thorn was always my favorite, but I think, like, Thorn was probably, like, just about everyone's favorite. Alright, but at least, we're just about finished. It's mainly the roof we gotta do. Alright, so... yeah, it's time to wrap this on up. Okay, so that's what that is. The hanging, like, so the cable itself, or, like, the rod here is all part of... okay. That's why I was having a hard time, like, cleaning it. And so all that's, like, part of the same fixture, so... yeah, it just makes you, like... they're trying to say, like, one raccoon did all this. Now, it would have been funny if we would have saw, like, the paw prints on the ceiling. Then it would have been believable, because it would have made it seem like the raccoon was using some form of Toon Force or something, but... I don't know, I guess I'm just, like, imagining, like, the workers just, like, we're all, like, trying to just throw like buckets of ice cream at the raccoon or something, just doing whatever they could to try like, you know, maybe slow it down, or they didn't really have like much else to try to fight it off with. So they literally just like, you know, had buckets of ice cream they were just tossing at it. Try to get in here. Oh, yep. Probably same thing over here. A little bit right here. Hang on. There it is. I got all that. Let's see. Make sure we got like everything under here. I mean, it looks pretty clean over here. I like how Rihanna's the employee of the month, but basically she's in a way the one that caused everything to get mucked up. Yeah, I've always been like, you know, yeah, Thorn's always been my favorite. Okay, let me see here. It can't be too much more to this. Boot seating. I was just there, unless it's this one. Okay, that explains it. All right, air vent. Well, that explains that one. There's an air vent somewhere it needs to be cleaned. Oh. Yeah, I missed that one, didn't I? Should be about time for me to get my checklist. There it is. Service area bin. Oh, yeah. Well, that's mainly like, you know, what my vast experience was with the Hex Girls. I never actually really saw too... I mean, I know they appeared in other Scooby-Doo media, but that was like, you know, the main time I remember anything with them, you know, in Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. I remember, like, you know, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island actually scared, you know, was... I don't know. I mean, that was probably, like, definitely one of my favorite, you know, Scooby-Doo movies. I remember, like, you know, they were kind of, like, using a tagline, you know, back then, talking about, like, you know, how this time the monsters are real. I was like, this isn't the first time, you know, they've done this with a Scooby-Doo, you know, movie. Like, literally, you know, the one where Shaggy became a werewolf in Ghoul School. I mean, I see it right here or whatever. But, yeah, it's, like, the one that, like, Zombie Island. Yeah, I love, you know, I think it was Terror Time by Sky Cycle, I believe was the band. Yeah, but the soundtrack was great, you know, and the fact that it actually was, like, again, it was, like, terrifying. Like, to me as a kid and everything. But, like, my thing was they were talking about this time, like, I remember, like, when they were, like, promoting, they're like, this time the monsters are real. I was like, again, Ghoul School, I think Scooby-Doo and a Werewolf 2 or whatever it was. The one where, like, Shaggy was a werewolf and they had to do, like, that drag race. I remember, like, you know, Dracula kept on, like, pronouncing his name Shaggy or Shaggy or whatever. Like, he couldn't even, like, pronounce his name right. And also, there was, of course, It was the one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was the one where Shaggy like inherited the house, where it was inheriting like, it was the Boo Brothers. I think Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers. But yeah, yeah. But what I loved about those movies as well, the main thing about them that was cool was because it was just like Scooby and Shaggy and Scrappy and everything. I don't care what anyone says, I've always liked Scrappy, don't at me. But I love how they actually like technically made Shaggy like a lot braver in those movies. Because normally, because you got to think about the fact like Fred, Daphne, and Velma weren't nowhere around or whatever, and Shaggy was basically showing, he was actually able to kind of like, hold his own, like it was like completely different source material, or whatever. But it's like for like different, I guess continuity. But yes, the way they kind of like portrayed Shaggy is like a lot braver. He wasn't like anywhere near as cowardly. Because otherwise, if it was like or the Shaggy that we knew for like from the main stuff or whatever, most of it, they probably would have just like immediately left or whatever. They wouldn't have like Shaggy wouldn't have cared about the inheritance or anything. He wouldn't have even bothered. But yeah, the original movies, and also let's not forget like the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo and everything. So they definitely had like different things like where the monsters actually were real, before like Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. But yeah, either way, guys, we just finish this up. Genma, my client, Powerwash Services. I've seen the parlor. I can't believe how gleaming it is. Whilst the debacle cost me a fortune in stock, I'm actually glad it happened. Harry, or should say Minty, has come to his own. It's a story I can roll out at parties and barbecues for the next 20 years, and I can just write the cost off as an industrial accident. All the best, Genma. Alright guys, so we just finished up that one now, and I actually did it in quicker time I thought. I was like, I think it was going to probably take about 2 hours, so I still made good time tonight. So we pretty much once again got caught up on all of the Muckingham Files stuff. So I don't know if they're going to be doing another one of these. Like, I wouldn't be opposed. I know, like, I kind of like, I'm wondering if what it could be is the reason for this is because they're like, already focusing on development on Powerwash Simulator 2. So I mean, that's one reason why we got like this right here, because a part of me is like, would be content with like, if like the DLC stuff they got now is all of it. But I'm thinking there may be at least like possibly like maybe 1 or 2 more. Don't know where else they can go with it. But yeah, the next stream, we'll get back to doing more of the Shrek DLC. Because like I said, out of these, I've already got the Alice's Adventures one. I got that purchased. But out of the rest of them, because, Midgar, I do want to kind of go in and finish out the Final Fantasy VII stuff. So we already did Tomb Raider before. I kind of want to go in, and do this one, because what was the next thing we're going to do? The next thing was going to be the Scorpion Sentinel. But again, I feel like if I did these, it would be like, spoiler territory, so I haven't played that Final Fantasy Remake yet. It's been like I'm on a do list to stream for a while. But I kind of want to do that before I go and do this. But I also would like to try to get this finished before Powerwash Simulator 2 comes out. But yeah, we're going to continue the Shrek DLC next stream. Probably going to try to wrap it up. Because next thing we got to do is like, Fairy Godmother's Potion Factory. And then from there, it's going to be the, the Dragon's Lair. And then we're going to start on the Alice's Adventure stuff. And if I do any others at this, if I don't do SpongeBob SquarePants, Back to the Future, and possibly Wallace and Gromit may be on the table. But also I feel like since I don't like the reason I'm saying I wouldn't really do much of SpongeBob, we don't really know too much about it. That'd probably be unfair if I don't do that and do Wallace and Gromit, which I don't really know too much of the source material of that one. So realistically, I'd like to be able to do all these except for the Warhammer one. Because again, Warhammer is the one I definitely know I probably wouldn't really have much fun with, because it's the one I know the least amount about. Because I haven't dived into anything Warhammer. While Wallace and Gromit, I have like seen some stuff of that, like, ages ago. And SpongeBob, I have seen like a few episodes. And I kind of just want to do the SpongeBob thing just because it looks like it'll be fun. Problem is I still gotta buy it. But what I've seen, it looks like that actually might be a fun one. I probably would just, do that just for the heck of it. Because I'm just really curious about how the whole cartoony aspect of it is gonna like, translate over to a game where everything is designed to be kind of be very realistic. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and call it here. I want to thank you to those who came and hung out with me for this tonight. If you guys just lurked, deeply appreciate you. If you aren't, following the channel, appreciate you subscribing, since we are getting close to 1,000 subscribers on here. If you enjoyed the stream, be sure to like, comment, and share. So anyways, Discord watch party is going to be happening in a bit, Rogues. Don't know if we're going to be watching some anime or we're going to be watching a movie. Not entirely sure. But anyways, until the next one, much love. Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with me. Next stream will be tomorrow for more Blueprints. But until then, you guys be safe, and I'll see you guys in the next stream. Thanks for watching.